Wesson, go to the post. The big Wesson, come out.
3-point game. Buckeyes so much sloppiness with the turnovers, and yet they're in the game.
15-point Michigan lead. Back to man. That was Iowa's first made field goal of this second half, by the way. Their points have come at the line.
And nice little screen.
Last 7 points to the Spartans. Only Brazdakis has scored for the Wolverines. There's Livers on the floor again.
Nice dive and pass.
And Brazdakis.
Something he does extremely well.
Here's to Julius. Brazdakis has 8 points and 5 rebounds.
He's made the only 3 so far today for Michigan.
They're double teaming him. He's going to find the open man. Michigan State just has to continue to knock down those shots.
Guys, they're so good as a passing team, and that, of course, starts with Winston. Michigan State 3rd in the country, averaging 19.5 assists per game.
Tremendous athlete, good-looking young man. I mean, that's just, it's something. It's a theme here.
Livers, Simpson, Brazdakis, Teskey, Livers to the hole.
Basketball player. Great look, great presence.
For Michigan, you want to see them get into their half-court offensive execution, like on that play.
Job.
It's been a tough day here, as you said, for Minnesota, but it's been a productive tournament. I think those 2 wins helped their cause here for the tournament seedings. Look at Amir Coffey. He's played all the minutes in the games thus far. No break. And has been quiet, in part because of Matthews, but also you have to factor in fatigue.
Man, it's Izzo after the officials.
Time and a half today for Tom Izzo.
Do here early, but pretty good defense by Michigan. Just almost a forced release. I mean, he had to shoot that so quickly to get that one off. Matthews, there's the mid-range.
If he can get John Teskey to pick up a cheap foul or 2, now that puts him on the bench, and now that just opens up more opportunities inside for Ethan Happ.
Pick and roll, Simpson. Brazdakis explodes to the basket, reverse layup.
Maybe 3 falls in one Teskey. Who knows? Teskey on top, and now here's Livers from Kalamazoo. Simpson. He's picked up by Rory.
Big body after big body out here for Michigan. What a
Trey, and that could be a fortuitous sign.
All about the spacing, though. He had some time to get the puppies together, catch and release.
Brazdakis a leaner.
He's around him, but he finds his open man going for the 3.
Goings, who struggled from the field against Rutgers early this week, scored just 5 points, was 2 of 7 from the field. What a start for him, 4 of 5. He's got 11, and he's hit 3 from deep.
I thought for a moment it had to be a player control on the drive.
That's what it looked like initially, and maybe that's what the fans still think.
Yeah. Simpson. Oh, what a...
That's something you have to do. If John Teskey's going to be as aggressive as he is on ball screens and taking that away, he's got to be able to pick and pop and put him to sleep that way.
Simpson inside and
A Michigan starting 5, highlighted by another freshman star in the making, and Iggy Brazdakis. Jordan Poole as well, who put up a career-high 22 in the middle.
Coach, in this past offseason, Xavier Simpson worked extensively with his dad to rework his shooting motion and add plays like that, or perfect plays and shots like that. Good feet inside.
Call that, baby. You can guarantee that. That was purely a prayer.
He's an important guy. Garrison Brooks, the sophomore big man out of Lafayette, Alabama. Simpson, beautiful bounce pass.
Oh, he gets 2 right there, under 13 to go in the first half.
That's why you got to keep Cowan out of the lane. That drive, defense comes to help out, and offensive rebounders are now suddenly available.
Simpson. Inside. Castle.
They had turned it over on the first possession and hadn't really gotten a quality shot in their next 2 trips. That's about as high quality as you can get throwing one down off the miss.
One of the impressive athletes, certainly in the Big Ten. Here comes Ignis.
He's starting to warm up in the second half. Got now 10 points on 5 out of 9 shooting. Dacus.
In a building that opened in '98, Wisconsin still has not lost for the 50th time. They have 49 losses here at the Kohl Center.
Sometimes you do it with the chains. The nets are falling off. Still got to get it done.
Simpson, pick and roll, double team inside.
Only averaging 61 a game on the road here in conference play. Penn State scoring at a high clip right now, both offensively and defensively. Michigan has to play better.
Livers down inside. Teskey had the mismatch.
The reaction on Twitter, by the way, from Purdue fans, I think they were sadder on that day than you were, because you guys felt like you had a Final Four team.
No, we did. I mean, we were 22-3 up here, and we had a group with each one.
Hawkins offense early. It's number 50. Go right inside to the big man. He's had to touch every offensive possession.
He has, and that's a wise decision because, you know, like we talked about, they can hit the three, but Western Michigan is always really good at the free throw line. They want to get there.
Jordan Poole gets to the rim.
Final 4 minutes here. Michigan has wrestled control away. Buckeyes were up early. We're playing really well in the early minutes. Simpson, another beautiful cross.
Minnesota, a team that does not shoot many three-point field goals, and we saw against Indiana, maybe had some fortunate bounces early to build that confidence. Would have been a big shot for Amir Coffey, a guy that cannot settle tonight, has to be aggressive and get to the basket.
That's usually his game, but sometimes.
Sonny Washington did lead the team over the summer in their trip to Spain when John Beilein had his double bypass surgery, so he has a little experience, but not in game action here. Good passing around the arc.
Former walk-on, former state champion of shot put. He is a big, strong dude.
He's a handsome man. He looks like Clark Kent.
Just a little thicker.
Yeah.
I don't see him flying anytime soon. Teskey open for three. And
Needs to be the man. They all want to grow together. So that's a great building block to have if you're Coach Turk. Simpson to the corner to the wide open Livers.
The last team to beat Michigan in the regular season. Beat them in Rosemont last year. Here's Brasdeikis for three.
As they have taken away the three, Michigan, Garza has found the empty spaces inside.
Well, when you shoot as well as they do, it drags that defense. You got to hug the shooters.
Garza, the lone Hawkeye in double figures with 10. 9-point Michigan lead. Livers.
Oh. We get the ball swung side to side and not take too many tough twos. That's one that went down, but that's not the kind of shot he wants early in the offense.
Third straight start for Devontae Green in the absence of the freshman Finney. They need a big game from him. This is Matthews, corner three. That's good.
Indiana fighting their way back. Juwan Morgan with 9, and they're on their feet here at the Carnegie Hall of College Basketball. Assembly Hall in Bloomington, where legends have played. Brasdeikis, and a big time.
Big time.
25 points for Morgan, 15 coming since the intermission. And he has had some monstrous games this season for Indiana. Of course, the big one against Butler in the Crossroads Classic in Indianapolis. Unbelievable.
Trying to kind of step up. I know he's not the most vocal player, probably Eric Ayala is, but because he's the leader of the team, when things start to go astray, that's where you want to lean on Cowan's leadership to kind of bring the guys back together because there's still a lot of time in this game, especially in this first half, to make a run. Wow, what a move there. Beautiful.
Clutching that knee.
To be okay, staying out there as Brasdeikis will start the offense.
Sometimes as a player, you just don't get up the way that you think you're going to, and you almost feel like, man, maybe I did twin something.
Has to be it. Poole driving all the way to the rim. Nice little weave through.
Affected his ability to finish.
We're up just 35 minutes from Ann Arbor. You know he's excited to be playing on this stage. He's come in red hot and continued that hot streak. 10 to shoot for Matthews. 5 on the shot clock. Simpson will launch
to the rim.
Well, everything going through the sophomore big man for the Buckeyes in the early minutes. Charles Matthews to Teskey outside. He can definitely hit shots from there. Simpson on the drive. He loves that little running hook.
And makes it.
Shows in their inability to get to the free throw line.
Tell you one thing they did really well right there. Set play, getting the ball in the low post to May, and he converted. Oh, look at the cut without the ball. Boy, that's no defense, Dan.
He has terrific athleticism, great length, a really talented player. Another guy that played really well in Columbus last Thursday. Right there, just getting in the paint, using that size.
Teskey. Wow. Just
rolled his sleeve.
Absolutely.
If he's going to shoot the jump shot, I think you let him have that shot. You try to contest it, but you cannot let him drive by you to the basket because he'll kill you.
Here's Xavier Simpson. Brasdeikis on the wing. Culver's got him defensively. Shuffling across.
Wow.
Got it to go.
And how about
is somebody who's a little bit of a sleeper, small town kid. It took him a while to catch on. But
I do want to, before we move on, I do want to ask you about Bruno Fernando, because Bruno Fernando, I think, has improved his game. He's not as stiff as he was. Nice, very nice from Poole.
Winner in the NCAA tournament as a freshman can give you. That's what Jordan Poole did against Houston last year, the SB nominee. And he doesn't lack confidence, that's for sure.
I mean, it's awesome. I'm jealous that he got the opportunity to do that. It's every kid's dream, making a big-time shot.
Guy that the more he's around John Beeline, you're going to see him having a shot at the next level.
After he hit that 3 last year against Houston in the NCAA tournament, I believe he got John Beeline to comment on his swag, which is something you didn't really ever expect to hear. Brasdeikis gets his first.
And that's this experience from Cowan. The ability to take the extra dribble, to get in position, to get the feed down to Sticks inside with a nice layup.
That was a nickname, by the way, I never got.
Oh, no.
Never got that one. Here's Matthews. Tough shot. And the Kentucky transfer.
Verticality, they're forcing a difficult shot.
Rutgers struggles from the floor, just 40% from the field, lowest in the Big Ten. And Michigan, they did not shoot it well in Iowa. Iowa mixed defenses a lot. They were in the zone frequently. Brasdeikis, wow, that deadened off the back of the
today. He has, and he's a rugged guard. He's taken a lot of contact when he's gotten into the rim, but it hasn't affected his ability to finish.
We're up just 35 minutes from Ann Arbor. You know he's excited to be playing on this stage. He's come in red hot and continued that hot streak. 10 to shoot for Matthews. 5 on the shot clock. Simpson will launch. Simpson will hit.
Finding any type of way to light a spark. Well, we'll see right here. What does this Michigan offense have for it?
Sadie Washington did lead the team over the summer in their trip to Spain when John Beeline had his double bypass surgery, so he has a little experience, but not in game action here. Good passing around the arc, and Simpson hits his first 3 of the night.
By Morcell, he didn't quit just because he got his shot blocked. He recovered the ball and drove it to the basket, something he does extremely well.
Here's to Julius. Rasdikis has 8 points and 5 rebounds.
He's made the only 3 so far today for Michigan
Until then, Livers puts it down.
They're double teaming him. He's going to find the open man. Michigan State just has to continue to knock down those shots.
Guys, they're so good as a passing team. And that, of course, starts with Winston. Michigan State 3rd in the country, averaging 19.5 assists per game. Livers from downtown.
Tremendous athlete, good-looking young man. I mean, that's it's something. It's a theme here.
Livers, Simpson, Rasdikis, Teskey. Livers to the hole. Opposite hand layup goes down.
Matthews, he's got 10 and a double-double.
Don't you have to get Matthews out of here?
To Julius, and Castleton, and Johns. David DeJulius. Shot clock at 7. Johns will take it halfway down the paint. Got it. He's on the board.
So Tanner Borkart, the first bucket for the Cornhuskers, a former walk-on, former state champion shot put. He is a big, strong dude.
He's a handsome man. He looks like Clark Kent.
Just a little thicker.
Yeah.
I don't see him flying anytime soon. Teskey open for 3, and that's
Coach, because they're attentive, they want to learn, they want to get better. And really, the thing that he said that kind of stands out, he said, listen, none of them have ego in regards to who needs to be the man. They all want to grow together. So that's a great building block to have if you're Coach Turd.
Simpson to the corner to the wide open Livers.
7 points all in the second half. Wildcats up by 3. The Wolverines have missed their last 7 shots. A 9-0 run for Northwestern. Remember, Northwestern, the last team to beat Michigan in the regular season. Beat them in Rosemont last year. Here's Rasdikis for 3. Got it.
Nice floater, but man, that's tough defense.
That's got to turn that one. Well, the Wolverines, even without arguably their best all-around player, Charles Matthews, has that foot ankle problem. Hoping to be back this week. Hoping to be back for Michigan State next week.
Nice read. Fran's got his guys dumping it inside. Garza supplies the lift.
As they have taken away the 3, Michigan, Garza has found the empty spaces inside.
Well, when you shoot as well as they do, it drags that defense. You got to hug the shooters.
Garza, the lone Hawkeye in double figures with 10. 9-point Michigan lead. Livers. Here it comes.
Wow. We get the ball swung side to side and not take too many tough twos. That's one that went down, but that's not the kind of shot he wants early in the offense.
3rd straight start for Devontae Green in the absence of the freshman Finney. And they need a big game from him. This is Matthews, corner 3. That's good.
Indiana fighting their way back. Juwan Morgan with 9, and they're on their feet here at the Carnegie Hall of College Basketball. Assembly Hall in Bloomington, where legends have played. Boom. Rasdikis, and a big time.
Big time.
25 points for Morgan, 15 coming since the intermission. And he has had some monstrous games this season for Indiana. Of course, the big one against Butler in the Crossroads Classic in Indianapolis. Unbelievable.
Cowan to kind of step up. I know he's not the most vocal player, probably Eric Ayala is, but because he's the leader of the team, when things start to go astray, that's where you want to lean on Cowan's leadership to kind of bring the guys back together, because there's still a lot of time in this game, especially in this first half, to make a run.
Wow, what a move there. Beautiful.
Clutching that knee.
To be okay, staying out there as Rasdikis will start the offense.
Sometimes as a player, you just don't get up the way that you think you're going to, and you almost feel like, man, maybe I did twinge something.
Has to be it. Poole driving all the way to the rim. Nice little weave through.
Greener runs the floor pretty good, too.
Iowa has posted 4 quadrant 1 wins, which is so important come Selection Sunday, including the win over Michigan. They beat Iowa State, went on the road and beat Penn State, and had a road win at Indiana. Here's Livers. Too easy. Simple.
They just keep on playing a long stretch here without a whistle. The officials from the Big Ten, they've had a great tournament, done a wonderful job.
It's been a tough day here, as you said, for Minnesota, but it's been a productive tournament. I think those 2 wins helped their cause here for the tournament seedings.
Livers, his third 3.
This is an okay lineup, their starting lineup to score. Man, it's Izzo after the officials.
Time and a half today for Tom Izzo. How about the bench points? There's
Two here early, but pretty good defense by Michigan and just almost a forced release. I mean, he had to shoot that so quickly to get that one off.
Matthews, there's the mid-range you discussed, and he knocks it down from 18.
Matthews. I think with Simpson out of the game here for Michigan, they really got to run their offense, trust the ball movement, player movement, back cuts. Be patient against this stifling defense of the Spartans.
Rastakis, they leave him open, and he takes advantage. And you got to.
Boy, that is a high level of difficulty for Coucher's first 2 points.
The way Michigan is pushing tempo. They are getting this thing out of the basket, even on made field goals, and they are going. Xavier Simpson assessing that possession right there, deciding to pull it back out, run your offense.
Rastakis flew by Murphy.
38-35. Wisconsin doing an excellent job staying close with Ethan Happ on the bench. Poole. Matthews posted up now. Nice play.
And that's what I like about it. All of a sudden you're out of rhythm. But if they're not going to guard you at 15 feet, he could make that shot. Saw him make his first 3-pointer against Indiana. Now, I'm not sure he needs to go out there and shoot, but from the free throw line, absolutely let that thing fly.
Richard Pitino said he's been lobbying him for more opportunities to shoot. And
Nothing run by Maryland. And it's all keyed with their defense. Daryl Morcell did a great job defending the screen and roll, and that allowed Maryland to get out and go.
Xavier Simpson, the hook again, caught again. That is so.
Rush, we knew he had time to crab dribble his way into the lane and have a mismatch, and he took advantage of it.
Happ with 18 points and 10 boards. Simpson tried to wrap it around with English.
By Rutgers to get back to a double-digit advantage. Poole falling, no foul call. Now he's back up. Xavier Simpson doing what he does best, feeding Teskey.
Up by 8 after that Carolina foul. Well, if Roy Williams wasn't happy in the first half, he certainly can't be happy with the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. They are pushing the pace a little bit more than they did at times, but they're not converting. They've committed a couple of fouls. Teskey from Simpson.
Sturgeon told Andy Katz at halftime it's a miracle to be only down by 9.
Nice dribble.
The floor, Washington had a little room. He's a willing scorer from here in Michigan.
So he knows about this rivalry. Smaller lineup on the floor for the Buckeyes when Caleb Wesson is on the bench. They don't have a lot of other size.
And there's no Teskey.
There's Livers for 3.
I'm telling you, they have been so slow to get the Livers. There was a
team in the country. But you're right, you've got a chance every night to get the quality wins that are so meaningful with the committee as they review the teams. And that time of year, just around the corner.
Points for Reavers, 40-37. Poole. Eight to shoot. Matthews trying to create. Baseline turnaround, Jay. Bring it up.
That was good defense that time by Charles Matthews. He was right there for Davidson, able to rise up a little bit higher.
Somebody has to step up with Ethan Happ out of the lineup. The lob, Teske. Minnesota trying to hang around, trying to stay within arm's length.
They have done that. Found themselves just down 8. Struggled in this half to score, but now putting stops together. John Teske just
no room in the back to assist.
What makes John Beeline such a special coach?
Adjustments. Every year he's doing a little more dribble driving. They didn't do that years ago.
Great chess match between two of the best coaches in America, Jay Wright and Professor John Beeline.
Little hook game. Nice pass.
Nice dunk.
In front of Matthews. Matthews was late, and then when he got it, he went in with his shoulder to the defender.
Pull the pirouette. Got the whistle.
Great
move. Juwan Morgan around to get him open opportunities to exploit his talents inside.
Rastakis top of the key. Shake and bake down the lane on the run with the right hand, and he gets the bounce.
Both teams very staunch man-to-man defenders. That's a trademark of Frank Martin and certainly John Beeline over the last several years.
Here's Brasdakis. The pull-up off the glass.
It's been a problem for Rutgers all year as a squad. 63% from the foul line. That's last in the conference.
Simpson called the screen, got it, and then did his patented hook shot for Chicken.
I'm not surprised, Kevin. You heard me say this early in the game. Schools like Western Michigan, when they get a chance, I love that.
Two of the undefeateds fell last night. Buffalo losing against Marquette. Marcus Howard had 45 points, 40 in the second half. And LSU beat Furman last night. Brasdakis having a timeout for 3.
For the movie Silence of the Lambs, Mom battled for another name, and they decided on Cassius. So it's Cassius Winston, a finalist for the Wendy's Wooden Award. Oh, Brasdakis feathery off the front.
Ultimately for that swing pass back for 3.
Well, listen, it's no surprise to Mark Turgeon that Aaron Wiggins is helping his team come out of this slump. He's really played well of late.
I like him. He's long. He's athletic. He has the confidence and speed.
Up ahead, Brasdakis back to Simpson. Simpson out to pull for 3, and it's good.
Wisconsin, we got a chance last year, if you remember, a couple of games there with Jordan Murphy. There's Xavier too, another guy here.
There's Simpson.
Really having a point guard, but what I heard is a lot of patience from Chris Collins this year. He's got a young team. He's got a lot of young guys, a lot of new guys with 2 transfers. So there's going to be more teaching than in previous years.
Northwestern on a 7-0 run. Been stifling in this man-to-man. Poole working on Taylor. Cross-court Brasdakis. The runner goes.
Couldn't get his body off of Juwan Morgan in order to help. Easy layup inside.
Smith scoreless in the first half. He has 7 now. Brooks. Matthews looking inside. Teske pops out. He can hit that shot. And does.
Michigan State ahead as they've rallied from 13 down to 2 behind.
Teske really making people disappear. Nice look.
There's Teske. Oh, he tried to dunk it.
Got a great shot out of it, but size won out.
Here comes Brasdakis.
Number 1 in the Big Ten assist turnover. Number 11 in college basketball, and he takes it the other way. Simpson's got 8 assists and 2 turnovers, so he's right on target. Approaching 4 to play. Simpson will dance and feed. Brasdakis will drive that baseline and get 2.
You see
seek it out much more. And I think the more Teske seeks out his jump shot, the more dynamic this offense is going to get.
Good work on the out of bounds. Rosdake don't want him. Stanford, I had them in the Bahamas. They're going to struggle in that game. They're going to be good by the end of the year. They have a bunch of young pieces. They're losing Reed Travis to Kentucky.
Poole got a great stretch.
Right, and the bench has been an issue. Isaiah Washington has dealt with a tailbone injury that held him out of the Indiana game. We saw him tonight. He kind of struggled, but outside of this starting five plus air.
And how the game's going to be called eventually. So Xavier Simpson will inbound the ball for Michigan. Again, this game is tied at 2. Somebody went to sleep and underneath the 2.
That's what happened.
To his left.
Moorhead picked up his second foul for the Grizzlies. Simpson. Matthews.
Just when the offense is hard to come by, these manufactured points are great to have to kind of relieve the pressure.
Matthews knocks down a mid-range jump shot.
But he has decided early in the game that he's going to take the ball to the basket.
Nice inbound to Poole, and he gets it to go, and Simpson with the...
Trust their offense. Get some passes, ball movement. Too much one-on-one.
Saw the shooting percentage for the Wolverines in the second half as Brasdake is
Front of you, you get crushed by Michigan. Edwards fell asleep. Dead fell asleep.
And Poole got a screen.
Scored. You're on the road. This is the biggest test of whether you're truly fearless or you just talk about being fearless. We'll see.
He said it. He wants to be the villain on the road.
You're going to get a chance right here.
Teske lines it up and knocks it down.
What Ayala allows him to do away from the ball is special because that's his favorite shot, running that curl action.
Well, Ayala, because he can stretch the defense has to honor that. And stretching the defense is what...
That toughness. Iggy steps up with the 2. Oh, my goodness.
Teske, now Livers comes in. Impressive sophomore.
Physically, he is imposing this year, isn't he?
Yes, Simpson, hesitation to the hole.
Rosdake hits the first.
Fragile emotionally, and that's what the coaches said, that there are times when they get down and they stay down. In this game, they have bended, but they haven't necessarily broken yet.
Simpson wrestling between 9 and 13 for the last 7 minutes. Simpson out to Brasdakis.
He's got the mismatch he wants on Dorson.
He's going to step back, shoot it over Dorson, and bury it.
Getting the ball in the paint. They haven't posted up Murphy much here tonight.
But Murphy needs a bigger game if they're going to get back in this thing. Just take over down low a little bit about this kid.
Simpson. What do you...
Goes down, 2 guys go down. That means somebody else has to step up. And nice look that time from Durham.
Durham, the sophomore, was recruited to Bloomington by Tom Crean, decided to honor his commitment after Crean was let go, and that is
a contested, even 5-footer, often leads to a run out.
End of the shot clock, totally in 3. Here comes Simpson. Brasdakis in against Smallwood.
Don't question his players.
A 22-game home winning streak from Michigan in serious jeopardy. Poole again from deep.
Wow. How about this kid?
play by Kelcher. My goodness. Falling into the standard. Able to flip it over the side of the rim. He's got 8. Brosdakis looking for 3, and he hits.
Under 2 to go. Can Michigan hold on to this 3-point lead? Simpson. Matthews. Explodes. Matthews, baseline.
Can make. If Michigan could get Teskey to become a 35 to 40% three-point shooter and Simpson the same, this team's a national champion. Let me put it this way. This team is in the conversation with 3 or 4 other teams as a national champion.
Still could be without that stuff,
yeah,
though,
no
right?
question. They're as good as anybody right now. Oh, boy.
Are these Michigan guards just taking the basketball from him, and now Amir Coffey again. Second straight possession, he's saved an open look.
Why is it so hard for a big guy not to bring the ball down?
It's just natural. It's a thing where you get tired, you bring that basketball down, you get a little lazy with it. You do that.
Teskey breaks.
Season goes along. Got 19 points today. And add on after the tip-back rebound from Davis. Davis throws it down.
Career missed a free throw against Michigan. He's 33 for 36. Winner gets a share of the Big Ten title. We have not seen Charles Matthews tonight dealing with the ankle injury for Michigan. Nick Ward has not played either, but Brosdakis has. He has.
He's a Bobby Hurley in a lot of ways.
Oh, slow down.
I didn't mean to defame him now. I'm taking umbrage for
Livers. And another 3 for the Wolverines.
Gets the ball and throws it off Kithier. He has been tremendous off the ball defensively.
He's been more known for his defense than his offense when he's played this year, but he gives them 3 points as well and hasn't been a liability on the offensive end. Oh, Xavier Simpson with his own.
Today at shoot-around, Izzo spent 5 minutes left corner on the form of Henry shooting threes because he knows somebody, Goins or Henry's going to have to make threes for Michigan State to win.
Just the 9th 3 of his career. Poole responds for 3. Jordan. Maybe the biggest game in Breslin Center history.
Michigan State, top 10 teams playing for a title.
Xavier Simpson uses the win.
Telling Grant and I that they work real hard on the first 2 steps to take away. Move the legs, take away 2 dribbles. These 2 guys, the point guards, have been going at one another forever. Nice slip.
Bounce pass to Teskey. Simpson with a beautiful.
To make a very high percentage of those particular type of shots to stay in the game and possibly pull the upset. But help if they could get some turnovers and get out and get easy ones as well.
Simpson was a all-Big Ten second-team performer. Driving inside, off the glass and down it goes.
Two-point lead for the Wolverines. Matthews warming up now, off the dribble to the hole. Whoa!
Anthony Gaines, he probably could have played 2 guys with 1 man on the defensive side and just kind of shaded off of Gaines. But having Falzone on the floor, it brought a defender out, and that guy.
Michigan trying to do something that's never happened in the history of the Big Ten tournament. That's win it 3 consecutive years. Simpson inside, drives on Winston.
And his first 3-point attempt of the game, and that's what he's in there to do, is shoot the threes. Jalen Smith is out because they need a little bit more perimeter scoring.
Last 5 games, he's made 12 3-point shots, including that one right there. 2.5 to go.
And the Terps desperately to stop here.
Simpson, they don't stop him. He takes it in with great penetration.
And then the athleticism of Van Solon to go up in traffic off 2 feet.
Some pieces of the Princeton offense, no doubt, in the Air Force repertoire, and that was textbook. And there's the answer.
The other way with a lead of 9.
What an ugly game offensively by both ends. You've got Michigan shooting 32% and Florida at 37%.
Simpson draw a double. For Chesky, they switch it, and he was open because Hayes was trying to go on top and defend, and Hayes.
Michigan State is only 2 fouls. Nice look by Simpson.
3 baskets, direct one-on-one against Big John Teskey, and not many guys do that.
He's got a couple moves down there in the post.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Pull off the Teskey screen. Got the.
You're really building the way Lamont Paris is building. It's going to be a longer process, but the hope is that at the end it's sustainable. Whether success, whether it be another coaching staff or not, is sustainable.
Paris 7 years with the Wisconsin program, so spent plenty of time in this building. And there's Charles.
Marines right now shooting at a torrid 73% from the floor.
Right inside to Brazdeikis out of the timeout. John
didn't go down. We'll see how the Wolverines look tonight without arguably their best overall player, Charles Matthews. We've got a lot of good ones on this Michigan team. Wolverines getting that start down to the freshman.
Something to Teskey. Teskey seems to have no confidence at all in his three-point shot. An air ball and then one that was so wide left that it had no chance.
It's Teskey on top, and Fernando is right there, and Poole goes down, and Simpson outside. Shot clock, it says Teskey rolls, and Simpson finds him again.
Long scoring transition, not existing here.
Teskey backdoor, Brazdeikis, and another deuce.
Study, drive and kick situation. That's part of the secondary play I'm talking about. Once you can move the ball side to side, that's when you can get into that action.
Matthews lasers it inside, and Poole was cutting well.
Poole or whoever is going to knock in step-up threes from the top of the key.
I don't know that there's a team in college basketball right now sharing the ball as willingly and as easily as Michigan is.
You know, I totally agree with that. I think it started last year, really. Look at the back.
Wow. Matthews finds
just too tough offensively. Going right at the big fella, fading back a little bit. That's a pretty offensive play right there by Lamar Stevens.
He's got 11, first in double figures. Into Poole. That was a well-executed play.
To pull the upset today, Morgan's going to have a big day, but that is a monstrous call against Indiana. Less than 4 minutes into this game.
It really is already depleted. Are the Hoosiers? You mentioned Fennessy.
Look at Matthews.
Wisconsin, and have not particularly a good free throw shooter, only 48% on the year, so keep our eye on that as we get closer down the end of this game.
Matthews down the lane, nice deal, Teskey!
And he got the job done.
He had a little bit of lift on that as opposed to a line drive that came off right. When it goes off your pinky, you're in trouble. Good move here going zone. I think Michigan got a little comfortable offensively. Just went to a little bit of a zone to slow him up a little bit.
Matthews to the rim.
Haven't seen it.
Carson Edwards in the top 10 in the country in scoring and number 2 in Power 5 conference players in scoring at 25 a game. Only Robert Franks of Washington State has a higher scoring average than Carson Edwards. Open as Teskey. They are encouraging him to take that for Carson Edwards.
I was going to say as he was doing that, you're getting ready to see some confidence, but you're right. Jordan Poole, the shot he made against Houston to put Michigan in the Sweet 16 will be legend, but he'll end up having just as good of moments down the stretch. He's a big-time guy and a big-time tough guy.
Charles by Simpson on the sideline.
And we talk about defense. Minnesota, very underrated defensively. Athletes and athleticism, their length really gave problems to Purdue yesterday. Carson Edwards.
There's a three-point shot. Yes.
He knows
Tennessee is just hard to accomplish.
Archie Miller trying to get his team to wake up, he said on the sideline. They do look like they're sleepwalking so far. Baseline, Matthews on the fade, and it's pure.
That's why I say he needs to go to war on the block. Like, I'm not talking about get yourself pushed out to the mid post. War on the block. He's a big, strong kid. Telling you.
We did it in the first half right over here.
Yeah.
Simpson cans a three.
Getting into the teeth of that defense, understanding John Teskey is around his shot blocking presence, but he ditches it off, and nice left-hand finish by the lefty Michael Hurt.
Minnesota maintaining a 5-point lead, but Teskey rolling to the rim and easy.
In the SVP vault.
I remember that one.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I remember the initial fog bowl. You literally could not see anything on television. Here's a layup.
Teskey stuffs it.
Just a little.
And I attribute a lot of this grit that we're seeing from Indiana to Juwan Morgan. I had the isolated cam on him, and his aggressiveness offensively is obvious, but defensively, he's been just as engaged, just as active, and there's the sweeping open.
More points off inbounds play for Wisconsin is big in this game.
Eli Brooks playing for Poole as Matthews back.
Both. I believe you said down in the Bahamas, I was watching a tape of one of your games for a game I got next week. You said the ball is a breathing, living organism.
There's no question. Anybody that's played basketball understands. Ball is, it breathes, it knows who shoots it.
Yeah. It picks favorites, it puts people in the doghouse.
No question. Treat it well.
Poole to Simpson.
See, that's halftime.
A lot of dribbling lately.
Here comes Brazdeikis. Misses again. Teskey the rebound. Shot clock resets. Michigan has missed 10 of its last 11.
Everything is difficult. Michigan State pressuring, making them take tough shots. Nothing easy.
Nice dive.
Oh, was that pretty?
3 baskets, direct one-on-one against Big John Teskey, and not many guys do that.
He's got a couple moves down there in the post.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Poole off the Teskey screen. Got the.
You're really building the way Lamont Paris is building. It's going to be a longer process, but the hope is that at the end it's sustainable. Whether success, whether it be another coaching staff or not, is sustainable.
Paris 7 years with the Wisconsin program, so spent plenty of time in this building. And there's Charles.
Marines right now shooting at a torrid 73% from the floor.
Right inside to Brazdeikis out of the timeout. John
didn't go down. We'll see how the Wolverines look tonight without arguably their best overall player, Charles Matthews. We got a lot of good ones on this Michigan team. Wolverines getting that start down to the freshman.
Something to Teskey. Teskey seems to have no confidence at all in his three-point shot. An air ball and then one that was so wide left, but it had no chance.
It's Teskey on top, and Fernando is right there, and Poole goes down, and Simpson outside. Shot clock, it says Teskey rolls, and Simpson finds him again.
Long scoring transition, not existing here.
Teskey backdoor, Brazdeikis, and another deuce.
Study, driving kick situation. That's part of the secondary play I'm talking about. Once you can move the ball side to side, that's when you can get into that action.
Matthews lasers it inside, and Poole was cutting well.
Poole or whomever is going to knock in step-up threes from the top of the key.
I don't know that there's a team in college basketball right now sharing the ball as willingly and as easily as Michigan is.
You know, I totally agree with that. I think it started last year, really. Look at the back.
Wow. Matthews.
It's just too tough offensively. Going right at the big fella, fading back a little bit. That's a pretty offensive play right there by Lamar Stevens.
He's got 11, first in double figures. Into Poole. That was a well-executed play.
Carson Edwards in the top 10 in the country in scoring, and number 2 in Power 5 conference players in scoring at 25 a game. Only Robert Franks of Washington State has a higher scoring average than Carson Edwards. Open is Teskey. They are encouraging him to take that for Carson Edwards.
I was going to say, as he was doing that, you're getting ready to see some confidence, but you're right. Jordan Poole, the shot he made against Houston to put Michigan into Sweet 16 will be legend, but he'll end up having just as good of moments down the stretch. He's a big-time guy and a big-time tough guy.
Charles to pull the upset today. Morgan's going to have a big day, but that is a monstrous call against Indiana. Less than 4 minutes into this game.
It really is already depleted. Are the Hoosiers? You mentioned Tennessee.
Look at Matthews.
Wisconsin, and have not particularly a good free throw shooter, only 48% on the year, so keep our eye on that as we get closer down the end of this game.
Matthews down the lane, nice deal, Teskey!
And got the job done. He had a little bit of lift on that as opposed to a line drive that came off right. When it goes off your pinky, you're in trouble. Good move here going zone. I think Michigan got a little comfortable offensively. Just went to a little bit of a zone to slow him up a little bit.
Matthews to the rim.
Haven't seen it. That's why I say he needs to go. He needs to go to war on the block. Like, I'm not talking about get yourself pushed out to the mid post. War on the block. He's a big, strong kid. Telling you.
We did it in the first half right over here.
Yeah.
Simpson cans a three.
Getting into the teeth of that defense, understanding John Teskey is around his shot blocking presence, but he ditches it off, and nice left-hand finish by the lefty Michael Hurt.
Minnesota maintaining a 5-point lead, but Teskey rolling to the rim and easy.
In the SVP vault.
I remember that one.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I remember the initial fog ball. You literally could not see anything on television. Here's a layup.
Teskey stuffs it.
Just a little.
And I attribute a lot of this grit that we're seeing from Indiana to Juwan Morgan. I had the isolated cam on him, and his aggressiveness offensively is obvious, but defensively, he's been just as engaged, just as active, and there's the sweeping opening.
More points off inbounds play for Wisconsin and big in this game.
Eli Brooks playing for Poole as Matthews back.
Both. I believe you said down in the Bahamas, I was watching a tape of one of your games for a game I got next week. You said the ball is a breathing, living organism.
There's no question. Anybody that's played basketball understands. Ball is, it breathes, it knows who shoots it.
Yeah. It picks favorites, it puts people in the doghouse.
No question. Treat it well.
Poole to Simpson.
See, that's halftime.
A lot of dribbling lately.
Here comes Brazdakis. Misses again. Teskey the rebound. Shot clock resets. Michigan has missed 10 of its last 11.
Everything is difficult. Michigan State pressuring, making them take tough shots. Nothing easy.
Nice dive.
Oh, was that pretty?
By Simpson on the sideline.
And we talk about defense. Minnesota, very underrated defensively. Athletes and athleticism, their length really gave problems to Purdue yesterday. Carson Edwards.
There's a three-point shot. Yes.
He knows Tennessee is just hard to accomplish.
Archie Miller trying to get his team to wake up, he said on the sideline. They do look like they're sleepwalking so far. Baseline, Matthews on the fade, and it's pure.
Attempt by Teskey. Just gave it all. They finally got him out of there.
Now Teskey clearing some space on that Michigan bench.
And they moved 2 chairs for him.
Here's Livers again. Oh, he's got the hot hand.
Michigan State, and this guy learning a lot, they tell me, just sitting around watching the game, the speed of the game. They will miss him. Hopefully he'll get back come tournament time.
Underwent surgery for that hairline fracture on Sunday.
Much more ISO on Michigan, don't you think, compared to other years?
No question. 6 to shoot. Matthews.
Good driver. Oh, a blow by. A little.
You have to think this is going to be some for Charles Matthews. He has been the offense here late in the game. Here he is. Driving inside on Reeves. Great patience, and he scores it.
Livers baseline, kicking. Simpson open look for 3. Tipped around, and it's into the hands of Livers, and Michigan resets.
Boy, that's a backbreaker if you're Air Force. That extension of the defense served its purpose, just not able to clean up with the rebound.
As Dake is in between those blue.
And that one off the heel. 1 minute to go from the Bryce Jordan Center. Matthews driving all the way for the flush. Timeout, Michigan.
Small lineup. You're going to see spread here. You're going to see at the end of the possession, if things don't go well, Livers in the corner for a 3.
Okay.
Now, there's going to be a lot of activity before that happens.
There's Livers in the corner. There's your 3.
Xavier Simpson. King on Matthews. Livers. Stops the play.
Part of, I want that guy on my side.
No question. Yeah, 21 night after 19 last game for Omoruyi. But an excellent response by Michigan. As we said earlier, John Beilein told us, when we were at Iowa, we got into some moments where the crowd got to us. The crowd never got to them this evening. And there's the dagger, 3-point
struggle. I think right now, mentally, there's a lot of struggle. They're being stunned. North Carolina, a little stunned city right here. I think the same thing happened in Kentucky in a game against Duke. They were stunned out of the gate and they could never recover.
As Providence has come out red hot, David Duke. 3 of 4 from the field. As Brazdeikis.
Nice pass.
Teskey. Bucket in the foul. What a performance.
That'll make some people in Columbus unhappy.
I'm not going to get into it. Harbaugh was nice to us.
Really nice.
Yeah. Well, layup.
Castleton, 1 dribble, and count the basket.
The pick and pop, one goes to the hoop, one stays outside.
Livers puts it on the deck, into the lane, switches hands.
To the West Coast, your personalities change.
That's not fair to me or the people of the West Coast. Eli Brooks.
I'm not condemning them. I'm just condemning
Just me.
This kid gives him a spark. Nice play.
Got the best
shots, and there wasn't the inside play available, Rich.
Well, other than Hayes, I don't know how he's going to be active on the offensive glass. This is a very small Florida Gator team.
I remember Keontae Johnson had a double-double yesterday, including about 4 or 5 offensive rebounds. So he's a guy who I think they need him. Rodriguez with a 3.
Good win.
That's to get Sonny Drivers back in the ballgame.
Simpson keeping that dribble going. All the way to the hoop, high off.
All donations going to the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
Hey, Dan, on whatever night it was, Wednesday night, we were doing a game at Ohio State, and I put out there a guy to come co-host on my radio show. My wife and I are going to take him out to dinner in Indianapolis, and a couple VIP tickets. And Todd Brannon from Austin, Texas, stepped up, bid $3,000, got a $3,000 match as a great move by Zay.
Season at 15 per game, but below 20% over the last 3 games.
I really like to overload one side, play 2 men on the other. Nice hands here.
Simpson somehow got it back. The defense collapsed on him, so he found Poole for a 3.
That's a double dribble up.
There's so many answers. We got the drivers on the wing.
Can't exchange baskets with Michigan. You got to get some stops. I tell you, Michigan is so patient on the offensive end.
He's a righty by.
You got an undefeated team. You got a team that blew out Villanova, went to Villanova and blew out Villanova by 27. They've beaten GW and Providence. They're undefeated. And a chance for 3 for Iggy. 73-72. So you know the Boilermakers are coming in here looking to turn things around. The Wolverines control the opening tip.
You were here for the beatdown of North Carolina, Dan. And we're going to get it. I need some opinions from you about how good Michigan is, because nobody beats North Carolina like that, and nobody beats Villanova like they beat Villanova. Look at this.
There's Brosdale.
Shy of 10 rebounds. Isaiah Livers. Now Davis. Shot clock under 10. Simpson with the shot clock at 5. Simpson throws up.
Find it. That's maybe a way to get to the free throw line as well.
Still Illinois, just 5 free throw attempts tonight.
Look at this pass.
From Simpson to Poole.
He is at baseline, just did a nice job with his pivot foot and then made a tough shot.
Morgan just 4 of 12 shooting in the first half. Now has a dozen points. Underneath that is Poole. He's doing.
Terry Weimer, Terry Oglesby, and DJ Cartenson. And the toss of the tap controlled by Michigan.
And the Villanova Wildcats go, guys!
So Michigan comes in 2-0 inside Poole.
Taking the ball to the basket. We haven't really seen him do it that much, Kevin. He's been settling for jump shots, but going to the goal might get him going.
Inside, good feed. It was Simpson.
Carton. And you know you got to capitalize on free throws if you're playing Michigan, because you just don't get anything easy against his defense. Here's Simpson. Working in on Law. Eschewing the sky hook. And now Simpson just blows around him.
10-point game. Michigan's largest lead midway through the first half was 17.
Might be a pretty good time for a post touch for Teske.
Brosdakis says, Sean Morris, how about
It helps you locate the rim and gives you a little bit of depth perception when they get out there late on you.
Poole showing the wear and tear with his jersey untucked. Simpson, 9 to shoot. Matthews bumping.
Look, a little bit of a careless play by Jordan Poole, which, yeah, in a way I like. I like when the kid gets aggressive. He seems to have a lot of fun, and his guy picks his guys up when he makes great plays. But Northwestern hanging in there, just making enough plays to gain confidence as this game goes on.
Part of it is the last 4 possessions for Michigan, 0 for 3 with a pair of turnovers.
Simpson trying to turn that around, and he does.
Remember order for Teske to guard
Pritchett out there on the perimeter, especially if he's going to put his head down and take him off the dribble. But get the ball down low to Teskey. Punish them at the other end.
Absolutely. Make him pay for it at the other end.
Right.
Screen. Tries Takis with a 20-footer.
Smooth.
5 point guards, I should say.
Yeah, there's some good point guards in this league. Cassius Winston was my preseason player of the year, and he hadn't done anything to dispel that double-double last night. Xavier Simpson, who, you know, has really played Cassius Winston really well. Nice inbounds. Went to the post.
Shots. Been doing it all year for Spartans.
You played with Steve Nash. I'm not comparing him, but he's great keeping the dribble alive, isn't he?
Very similar in that regard, yes. Very patient with the ball.
14 points for the junior out of Detroit.
Nice hesitation. Poole is cool.
Wolverines well schooled in the half-court set as well.
They're patient. They allow the offense to work for them. Again, don't want to get too bogged down with pick and roll, guys. They want to kind of let this free-flowing offense work, break it down, and then make a decision once you have it.
Xavier Simpson across the lane on the hop. Dakis down the lane. Matador defense by it.
3, and I can knock down a 3.
Let's just have a top of the key, big guy shootout. They're laughing too at the top of the key just now.
Harms with his second 3 of the season as well. He's 2 for 5. And now Teskey scoring.
Panic. He didn't rush. He caught it, came under control. Little shot fake, let the defender fly by and convert. A nice slip of the screen.
And every time this crowd starts to get in.
Right?
Yeah.
That was
beautiful.
This is not going to end well or something like that.
It wasn't, but he pulled up and knocked it in.
And did pretty well.
For them. I just think if you're going to play and you're going to play against Michigan, you got to make sure you don't take the ball in the bad spots. And Nebraska has taken the ball in the really bad spots.
And you were eyeing that thing with a great deal of envy.
So that ring you saw on your screen, that was Charles Matthews. I tried to put it on. It almost fit. What would you say? Just a little big?
Yeah, a tad.
Just a tad, yeah. He's a little taller. Inside here is Matthews. Look at that, right?
2 of 12 from the three-point range in this second half. 17%.
Now, they've missed a couple of open ones, but for the most part, Michigan has done a great job defending out there.
Matthews, Teskey, they had some light inside. Poole, it's a free card!
That was that screen and roll. You said they were trying to switch, but they can't switch Hayes with Simpson. So he got lost.
17-6 run by Florida. They trail by 9, they lead by 2, and Simpson will probe on top and then take it inside with the hook.
Captain Hook.
Simpson and Poole and Matthews. Teskey, Dakis, the Wolverine 5. Starting the second half. The winner goes to the Sweet 16. Poole, Dakis. Poole, he's been quiet until there. Poole.
Always maintaining the composure. It actually got into some trouble this year. He had a 2-game suspension.
A little slip of the lip. Come on.
And this is his 3rd game back.
He was contrite. Such an emotional game to begin with.
Here's Poole for 3. Boy, does that look familiar?
Oh, goodness. Right about the same.
I hate flopping. I love that he did it. Good for him.
I mean, it's one thing when you try to fool an official who's away from the play, can't see it. That was right in front and center. He did a good job. He sold the call.
Absolutely. You better guard him.
Poole for the 3. Yes.
Falcons not going away.
No, they've attributed themselves well here today.
Teskey in that middle is such a great target. I didn't think it would lob to him. He could turn and decimate the interior D once he flashes.
Livers springs free.
Well, that's wide open. Slip.
Right on cue. A little bit of Cheatwood in that face, don't you think?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, Jimmy Cheatwood wishes his arms were that long.
Nice move by Poole.
Here's Simpson. Simpson looking to push. Here's Matthews. Back out to Matthews for three. First made.
I think they do. I thought their resume, based on how they not only beat people but thumped them. And now when you look at the win at Villanova, I know it was a different Villanova team, but you know that doesn't matter to these rankings. Michigan has a real argument for #1.
A little bit of pressure from Ohio State. Eli Brooks in the game for the first time. Poole, he will keep doing that.
I don't get it.
The longer this game goes, the 4-9 record goes out the window, and Binghamton thinks they belong.
In those 4-minute increments that Tommy Dempsey talked about, his team has now stayed in to the second half. Poole looking for his 5th three-pointer of the game, and he's got it.
In the American East, I got to see the top 5 teams because these guys are balling. They are playing the game plan about as good as you could expect.
And again, they kept it close at Notre Dame for a full 40 minutes. Poole taking a step back for his 6th.
Shot clock was down to about 9 or 10, so they weren't in a hurry. That's how the rest of this game has to be played offensively, I think. You got to pick your spots, and you got to stay aggressive. But if you're Iowa, watch for the mismatches and go at them.
Both of these teams have such great basketball IQ. That 3 ball is drained by Isaiah.
Well, remember, he had some foul trouble early as well, so
yes, he did.
Missed a lot of that first half. He's an important part for Iowa if they want to hang on here with 12 minutes to play.
The lead back up to 11. Matthews for 3. Finally.
Yeah.
That
This is a big lineup Michigan has out there, playing Livers, Teskey, and Brazdeikis all in the same front court.
Simpson with 9 on the shot clock. Bounce pass, great feed to Brazdeikis.
I love the smile. A lot of players would run back like they meant to do that, but the bank is open.
Oh, and you thought the school was closed. Poole with an answer.
They force you into such tough shots, though. I mean, what a tough shot to only come away with 2 there.
Livers, great vision in front. Able to
It's certainly an offensive foul, meaning an illegal screen if you move. Long didn't necessarily move, but his feet were too wide when he set the offering there on the baseline.
Yeah, that was a big emphasis last year and something they're emphasizing again this season. Michigan has missed their last 7 shots with a little bit of an offensive funk. Poole swings it over to Livers, his sophomore teammate. Nice, no look. You can just tell by how he carries himself. Davis, tough step back shot. That one no good.
Good defensive adjustment that time by the Wolverines.
They jump out on Poole, so he drives inside and dishes it to Matthews.
Difficult shot because I thought Livers did a pretty good job of moving his feet, forcing the difficult angle, and Livers showed his hands so as not to draw the foul in the contact, but a nice delivery.
Scotty now with 6. Falcons go back to his zone, and Matthews will break that with ease.
He had 14. He was 6 of 7 in that game. And Beeline told us, John told us today, look, we won against them last year, but every game was close. I mean, really close. And that was a team that went all the way to the tournament final.
That was a tough finish for Bernard.
Bernard got some nice flow going to the rim. Second time he's been able to get on the backside of the Michigan defense.
He's a grad transfer from Loyola, Maryland. Had a nice 3-year career there. Good pass inside. Matthews all alone.
2-seed Tennessee by 5. Here, Michigan has not hit from the field in almost 7 minutes.
Kevin, they've only attempted 3 shots in this half. They've turned the ball over 3 times. They have 3 shot attempts. They haven't made one yet.
There's that matchup zone by the Red Raiders.
Poole tries to cork through for 2 and does.
Everything, though, is a
problem for Chris Holtman and the Buckeyes is against this kind of Michigan team, you just have to play almost perfect here in Ann Arbor. Really, anywhere you play the Wolverines.
And you can't have a let-up. You just cannot have a let-up.
Because you got to give up something. You can't take away everything of Michigan, especially when you're undersized the way the Bearcats are.
And he said the threes and the dunks, those are going to get the crowd into it. The mid-range jumpers we will live with. Brasdakis taking it to the rim.
So they are energized beyond belief right now.
Brasdakis, no. Livers, though, saves the possession. Yeah, Binghamton has to be juiced up. Got an amazing opportunity here. That won't help him. Brasdakis.
You're going to see Binghamton. They're going to take their time. They will push when given the opportunity, meaning fast break, but they're really going to take a lot of air out of each possession to try to limit the opportunities for Michigan.
And although they have a 4-9 record, they did go toe-to-toe with Notre Dame in their building and played them for a full 40 minutes close. So they won't be intimidated here today.
No, they won't. You know, you got a team out of the America East. That's a quality lead.
Well, opening three-point shoot, that worked. The three-pointer is good for Chancellor Bernard.
And you see the Bearcats are smiling because they know they got a gift on that one. But you know what? When you're this good of a team in terms of Michigan, you're going to get everybody's best shot.
Oh, speaking of best, Isaiah Livers.
John Teskey almost every time. There's a lot of fight in these Bearcats.
Back within 3, this Chrysler Center crowd starting to get a little antsy.
Well, they sense that the tempo, as you mentioned earlier, Brandon, is in favor of Binghamton, and they've kept it that way.
Livers finds himself wide open.
Simpson's so tough.
He's been a Bulldog again today with 7 assists. Livers, one dribble, up off the glass, 11-point lead, timeout.
Big spin move for 2. Pretty play by Saeed Pritchett. He's got 15.
He's had a nice game.
Yes, he has.
You know, he's been the guy who's been trying to attack inside most of the night.
Drive by Livers.
Game 1. And we'll see what the final 4.5 brings us. Sessom, he just settled for that.
And that's the contested shot percentage that we talked about early in the game.
that Beeline and his staff look for. They look for 75 to 80% of opponents' shots being contested.
And that one certainly was. As the Wolverines continue to try to stretch it out. Livers into Brosdakis. He has 19.
Over and potentially take a charge, and then the delivery delivers in the corner for the third assist of the night for the sophomore.
Number 5, Michigan. They were undefeated until they lost to Wisconsin a little over a week ago. Poole for 3. Count it.
Like it is not a tremendous offensive threat, even though John Beeline says in practice he shoots with a lot of confidence, but just hasn't translated consistently to the games. But when you are setting up your teammates like that and you're the head of this defense, that's why he's so valuable to this attack.
They're so unselfish. He's only put up 1 shot in this game.
Oh, nice closeout on Poole.
As the shot clock goes down to single digits. Simpson looking for his 10th assist of the game, and he's got it. As Brosdakis knocks down